Welcome everyone to the final meeting of this term of council, the ordinary council meeting for the 24th of November 2021. We have started live streaming, and as I open this meeting, I note that I welcome you all for attendance. It's very different to the first meeting that we had when it was packed with our family and friends to welcome us, but it's very our circumstances have certainly changed. The council meeting is open to the public due to the easing of the public health order restrictions under the New South Wales reopening roadmap. As a result, everyone in attendance in the council chamber must adhere to council's COVID-19 safety plan, which includes providing evidence of receiving 2 doses of a recognised COVID-19 vaccine, QR code check-in, wearing of mask and social distancing, and hand sanitising. The COVID safety plan allows for a maximum of 13 members of the public to be in attendance, which includes 3 media representatives. Any councillors or staff who are unvaccinated can request to join the meeting via audio-visual link, and unvaccinated members of the public can watch the live stream of the meeting. This council meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published online via council's website. To those present in the meeting today, by participating in this public meeting, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. The Mayor and or the General Manager have the authority to pause the live stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Participants are advised that they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour or commentary. Thank you, councillors. I request from councillors to attend via live stream, which we have Councillor Nolan, but my understanding is, as the public health order stands, that we can accept all councillors coming in by live stream. Apologies.
Councillor Kennedy is an apology, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Pardon? No, Councillor Clark's on live stream. Yeah, so Councillor Allgate's moving that way. Seconder, Councillor Brown. Thank you, councillors. Can I ask the Deputy Mayor to say the prayer for her last time?
Thank you. Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council. Direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Can I ask Councillor Gallagher to do the Acknowledgement of Country?
Yes, I wish to acknowledge these traditional owners upon the land upon which we meet and pay our respect to those elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. I have item 5 as the minutes for confirmation. Do I have a mover of the minutes?
I'll move that way, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Cool, second by Councillor Adams.
Can I ask some questions on the minutes, Madam Chair?
Councillor Allgate.
Some questions and comment.
Can you say the page when you...
Page 13, the minutes that allegedly represent the meeting on November the 11th. I can't accept what the General Manager has put for the minutes for lots of reasons, not the least of which that in my 55 years of involvement with the council, I have never before seen minutes presented in this way. In other words, the minutes tell the public nothing. They hide what the council's decision was. And the problem is, the General Manager refers to section 11.3. When we're talking about the minutes, section 11.3 deals solely with the public access to correspondence and reports. In section 11, there is no mention of minutes, none whatsoever. It's about maintaining confidentiality to the correspondences and the reports. Nothing about nothing at all about minutes. Likewise, in section 10.2C, it's exactly the same. The New South Wales Local Government Act, it really says that this particular section deals with which parts of the meeting can be closed to the public. This section makes no mention whatsoever about hiding or hiding the eventual decision made at the meeting. I just wonder where the General Manager gets the advice from, because I've never seen this happen in my lifetime before. And I can understand why the council wants to hide it, but nevertheless, the due process has always been that after a confidential meeting, the General Manager, when the council goes into public session, the General Manager reads out the minutes, what the resolution that was adopted was. In this instance, it hasn't been, and I wonder why. And I don't think, personally, I don't think 10A2C covers the problem that we're talking about. It's fine to hide the report. It's fine to protect the confidentiality of the reports and the correspondence and anything relating to that during the meeting. Likewise, it's fine to stop public access to reports and correspondence at that meeting. But nowhere in the Local Government Act can I find where minutes should not be made public. I've emailed the Office of Local Government. I had hoped that they would give me a reply by now, but that's my angst at the moment, Madam Chair. I think it's wrong, and it just goes to show how secretive this council can be at times. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. GM, did you want to comment on that?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. We have used that clause earlier in the councillor term, but we had sought advice from the Office of Local Government previously around confidential matters, that if those resolutions were read out as resolved by council, that would confer or more importantly, be a part of section 10A2, which would keep a report confidential, that if those resolutions also demonstrate the same effects, whether those resolutions could be kept confidential, and council resolved at the extraordinary meeting to keep the resolutions confidential as well. So that was the basis of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager.
Madam Mayor, before you go on.
Councillor Clark.
Yeah, look, I did try and get your attention earlier. I realise I'm interjecting at the wrong time here, but in your introductory remarks to this meeting, you indicated that people, councillors who were not vaccinated, could access the meeting via Zoom. I just want it to be made clear that I am in fact vaccinated. I am not joining the meeting via Zoom because I am unvaccinated. Sorry, I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you. We'll note that, Councillor Clark. Thank you. Is there any speakers in for the minutes? If not, I'll put the minutes. All those in favour: Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Clark, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Page, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Adams, Mayor Turley. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move to disclosures of interest. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Against is Councillor Allgate. Thank you. My apologies, Councillor. Disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosures of interest from the councillors relating to the business paper tonight? And from the staff? No, for which there is none. We'll go to Merrill Minute, for which there is none. Notice of a motion, for which there is none. Rescission motions, for which there is none. Reports from delegates. Councillor Clark, are you moving this report?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Am I unmuted? Thank you.
Yes, you are.
I think I am, yes. Look, I just, I do want to move this. I think that we should be thanking Councillor Nolan.
Sorry, I'll just
on
take
behalf-
Councillor Adams as seconding the motion.
Okay.
So could you please speak to the motion, Councillor Clark?
Yes, I think that I should also thank Councillor Nolan on behalf of the councillors as well as the council for the work that he has done as a delegate to the Mining and Energy Related Councils Association, which has involved him preparing reports for council meetings, as well as driving, I think, some distances to these meetings 4 times a year. As we are a mining town, our representation is important on these sorts of committees and associations, and certainly as is the discussion around coal and renewable energy. As the council invested in our future sustainability and our vision about being a renewable energy city in the near future, we should ensure that there is still a councillor representation on that association when the new council begins its term. So I'd like to say thank you, Jim. And your efforts have certainly, I think, been appreciated by us all.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Councillor Nolan, it is your last meeting. It is your last report. Is there anything further you wanted to add to this? I know Councillor Clark wanted to jump in quickly. Is there anything else you want to add?
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'd like to thank Councillor Maureen Clark for her warm words of appreciation. It has been a pleasure to serve these over 9 years now, including several terms on executive of that association. And why I mention that is simply because if you're going to get involved in something, you might as well get involved to make a difference for the better. The very first meeting I went to in Wollongong, I raised with our executive officer an issue that was coming up with the Parillia rates challenge, a legal issue. And he immediately said, this is where you've got to sit, directly opposite the Queen's Counsel at dinner, and you can discuss some ideas with him and get back to your council. And I did. And we had a positive outcome from that legal case. On the other side of the coin, some time later, some years later actually, another council, I'm thinking West Wyalong perhaps, anyway, had an issue about a pipeline. And we were most of the way through our Wentworth to Broken Hill pipeline experience. And so conversely, we were able to give advice to that council, which helped them get a really good outcome in terms of some payment for the use of the easement along those council roads for that pipeline. So much is in that report. I'm very appreciative that I was able to change the scope and direction of the association to include energy. It was, if you like, implicit in the fact that we were 50% coal and 50% metalliferous, that there was energy involved, being as coal is used for power generations even now in New South Wales. But being very much aware that the shape of the energy landscape was changing and the need to broaden our scope, represent more councils and make even more of a difference. Over a period of 2 years on executive, I was able to change or orchestrate the changes to our constitution, and also to open up the association to people who may happen to work in the industry who were otherwise precluded from involvement. The only other thing I'd like to say is there is actually 2 reports here. The second one being the North Mine Community Consultative Committee has been put with this item rather than a separate item. So I'll just say momentarily that since that was moved together, I'll simply say that it's also been a pleasure to serve on that North Mine CCC. We did some good work. in terms of smoothing the way for what has been a great improvement to employment and the future of Broken Hill. The report that you have in the papers indicates how Brilliant's been going in the last 12 months, how far they pumped the water out, what level they're down to. We're looking at about the 23 level at the moment, so over halfway down. They're collecting some good pay dirt on the way, not quite as good as they often get, but certainly in these times of high metal prices, encouragement to keep going before they get into some more interesting areas like the Fitzpatrick Lode and the North Mine Deeps, which will see mining continue in Broken Hill for many years to come. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I mean, much enjoyed working with City Council, and I can only see good for Broken Hill from here on in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nolan. And you got a round of applause for the work that you have done on that committee. And certainly 9 years is a long time to sit on a committee, but I know the message is the importance of having representation from Broken Hill on the committee in the new council. We thank you for your work. It's not just drive, you are on trains as well in all sorts of ways to get across to these meetings. We appreciate it all. Thank you for that. I'll put the motion, all those in favour. It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone. I'll move to reports. This is certainly for all the councillors sitting here and on screen, and our councillor who's an apology, one of the most important reports. It's really the Scorecard of Council. Can I have a mover for this motion?
I'll move that way, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Cool, seconder. Councillor Adams. Councillor LeCour, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. What a fantastic report. It's a great report of Council's achievements and its activities over the last 5 years, which is an extended term of 1 year for us. People have often asked, what has Council done? What's it done for the community? Well, here it is. It's in black and white. It spells it out. It spells out what Council's achieved, but also spells out what Council does on a day-to-day basis, what the council staff are involved in.
No, you can't interrupt. Thank you very much. See you later. Thank you, thank you, Mr. Bobos. Very disrespectful behaviour.
Oh, that's okay.
Thank you.
No
Please
worries.
go ahead.
Yeah, so this is it. This is a great report. I'd like to thank Razia and the GM and all the staff involved in putting this report in. It's the blood and bones of what council does, what this community and what it does for the community, but also what the community is involved in as well. One of the great things I like about this report is the infographics. A lot of people like me probably are visual people. They like to see things in visual. And that's why one of the reasons I'd like to move an amendment to this report. I'd like to move point 4, that the infographic summary used throughout the report be printed and distributed to all residents as a matter of urgency or as quick as council can. I believe that just relegating this report to council's website, whilst it is accessible in the digital age and easily accessible, I think printing them out and delivering it to all our residents is going to get a far wider reach and a far wider explanation and information on what this council has done and what the achievements we've made. There's also one little point I'd like to make. On page 41 of the council papers, page 7 of the report, in that infographic, it lists library visitors. Just like to point out, over that 240 weeks, which is 5 years, 243,187 library visitors. And they say people don't go to the library. A quick calculation, that's over 1,000 visitors a week to the library. And on another page, it says the library membership is 6,700. It proves the worth of libraries and it proves the worth of this council moving forward with a new library and cultural hub. So I'll just leave it there and I put forward that amendment to the council for consideration.
Thank you, Councillor. You could include that that item 4 into your motion?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
That's what I meant.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll do that. I'll include item 4 into the motion. Councillor Adams, are you happy?
I'm not sure about that, Madam Mayor. I agree that it'd be wonderful for the people to see this as a report card for the last 5 years. But I'm not sure how practical it's going to be for us to get it out to everybody with the cost, because if we're talking, I know that this has come up so many times about putting out reports to the community and we're all looking at the postal cost and so on. I don't know how it could be done, but if it's up to the next council to be able to try and do that, by all means, I'll support
Can
it.
I just say, and I'll just see can I just say, all these councillors here have distributed information that's important. It doesn't cost that much. But if you want me to get a second, another seconder, I will.
No, as I said,
Yeah.
if it can be done,
Yeah.
I would second it. I'm just concerned about
Yeah.
that.
Okay, thank you. Speakers against, are you speaking against, Councillor Page? Are you speaking against, Councillor Page? No, I'd like to speak for. Okay, I'll just go to Councillor Allgate first and then come back to you. Councillor Allgate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not against the report as such. But I just wonder, as far as I'm concerned, item 4 that's been added as a part of the addendum is simply a campaign ploy by the Labor Party. As a matter of urgency, this has to be circulated amongst the community. There's no doubt that that's a political move, and that is fundamentally wrong. Secondly, we heard Councillor LaCour talk about the library and how wonderful things are going at the library and how well it's been used. I understood that the library was the #1 priority for this council. I'm not for it, but that's well known. But the thing is that I noticed in the Labor Party literature there's been letterbox dropped. There has been no
Point of order,
mention,
Madam Mayor.
no mention
Councillor
of
Allgate,
the
you know
library.
the rules because the library is being built, but you know the rules of politicising in a campaign. When your comment is very disrespectful to the process of democracy. When Councillor LaCour, Councillor Allgate again, very disrespectful. When Councillor LaCour made that comment, that doesn't mean it's going to come out before the 4th of December. I can promise you that. But very disrespectful, very, very one-ended behaviour as usual. Thank you, Councillor Allgate. Do you want to continue on in a more respectful way? You know the rules about politicising during a campaign.
Why would I continue on, Madam Chair,
Oh, because thank you then.
when it's all against one?
Councillor Page. You want to
Yes,
speak?
Madam Mayor, I support the proposal of sending out all the photos and everything else. I think it's a great idea, and I'm quite sure you can't achieve it in the next 2 weeks. So I should say to go out after 2 or 3 weeks time frame through you, Madam Mayor, to the General Manager. I think it's a great idea, providing it goes out after the 2-week time frame. And I think the amount of cost is very small. And yes, the Broken Hill people will appreciate seeing what has been achieved.
Thank you, Councillor Page. Is there any speakers against the motion? No speakers against? Was there any questions?
Yes.
Councillor Clark, and I think Councillor Adams might have one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry I have to do all of these strange hand gestures to try and catch your attention. I was just interested there in Councillor LaCour has read out those figures for the library, and they do make good reading. But in amongst those years that we are talking about, we had COVID closures. So the library was unable to have visitors for some of those weeks. And certainly when you take that into consideration, then those figures are indeed very good.
Oh, I don't know if that's a question.
Oh,
Councillor
sorry.
Adams. Councillor Adams, did you have a question?
Just a comment, Madam Mayor, following on from Councillor page and what I was trying to say when Councillor McCall was talking. I agree, it's not going to go, would be very unlikely to be out in the next few weeks, but my thought would be that what we've tried to do before is put it out with the next rate notice.
Okay, thank you.
That's all.
No more debate. Councillor LaCour, write a reply.
No, Madam Mayor, again, I just got to congratulate the staff for putting this report together, and I congratulate this council for making this happen, doing all these great things for this community. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, Councillor Brown, Councillor LaCour, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Adams, Mayor Turley against, Councillor Allgate. Thank you, councillors. The motion is carried. We now move to the Broken Hill City Council report, item 2, the Broken Hill City Council report number 181/21, page 95, the draft annual report for 2020-2021. Do I have a mover?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Moved by
That's a-
Councillor Nolan. Seconder, Councillor Brown. Councillor Nolan, do you want to speak to the motion?
Only the fact that there's a lot of 20s in there, Madam Mayor, and it leads me to think, coming from an optical family, 20/20 vision, it's great to have 20/20 hindsight. A lot of us do when we look back over things, but that also shows that over the years that we've planned and we've worked, particularly in the last 12 months, that we've had a vision for the future and we're making it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Any speakers against? Councillor Allgate?
No, I'll make a comment, Madam Chair.
What's your comment, Councillor Allgate?
I just, the $14,870, I just wanted to make comment of the fact that that was absolutely wasted. A councillor putting a code of conduct in against 2 other councillors, and a frivolous thing, and it's cost the community 15 grand.
I think that's coming in the next report. You're on the wrong report, councillor. You're on the wrong report. Yes. You
I'll
need
say the same
item
thing.
2. You're not having a good night, are you, councillor? Let's put the motion then. All those in favour, Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool. Oh, it's a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to go to item 3, the Broken Hill City Council report number 182/21, page 351, the Code of Conduct Complaints Statistical Annual Report. Do I have a mover for that?
Move it, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councillor Allgate, seconder by Councillor Adams. Councillor Allgate, do you want to speak to the motion?
I'll just say that as far as I'm concerned, this code of conduct is used as a tool. It's not achieving anything as far as I'm concerned. It brings attention, the wrong sort of attention on the council and certainly on some councillors. And this most recent one, the recent 2 code of conducts was an absolute waste of money, ratepayers' money.
Is that, sorry, okay, thank you. Any speakers against? If not, Councillor Adams?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I agree it always costs money. Unfortunately, people that do submit a code of conduct are usually doing it because they're genuinely concerned about the actions of councillors, not done for self-interest. If all councillors acceded to the code of conduct, we wouldn't have any reason to do any submissions.
Thank you, councillor. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Do I get the right of reply, Madam?
Oh, you moved the motion. Yes, sorry, Councillor Allgate. You have a right of reply.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I accept what Councillor Adams has said, but because I was one of these people that were the subject of a code of conduct submitted by a councillor, and the public don't realise, but if councillors submit a code of conduct, they are supposed to be named. This particular councillor appealed to the conduct reviewer to keep his name secret. Fortunately, through a series of events, it turned out that we were able to prove who it was. And that just worries me that the calibre of some councillors who incur money with frivolous claims supports, I think, what I've said for quite some time, not just on this report, but on others, that the Code of Conduct generally has been a tool for which some people just want to use.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour, Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Clark, it's a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone. Move to item 4, Broken Hill City Council report number 183/21, the draft agency information guide, page 355. Do I have a mover for this motion? Moved by Councillor Brown, seconder, Councillor Adams. Councillor Brown, do you want to speak to the motion?
I don't think I need to, Madam Mayor. I think this is just a regular appearance in our agenda. So I'm happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you. Is any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? That's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Move to item 5, the adoption of the draft business support policy. This is Broken Hill City Council report number 184/21, page 380. Do I have a mover? Councillor Adams, second by Councillor LaCour. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak to the motion?
Just to say that as there were no public submissions and it's been looked at very carefully. It's all clear in the report, so I support it.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Online people, thank you. It's a unanimous vote. Thank you. It's a very good meeting tonight. Item 6, Broken Hill City Council report number 185/21, page 392, the investment report for October. Do I have a mover?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Nolan, seconder. Councillor Adams. Councillor Nolan, would you like to speak to the motion?
Just briefly, thank you, Madam Mayor. We're entering some more difficult times as a nation and as a world, not just because of COVID, but the cycle of how markets react to COVID, and that affects the return we get on our investment. But what I'd like to do is thank the financial staff, including Simon and under Jay's leadership, have kept our portfolio of investments quite alive. It's always great when we look at the investment report to see us compliant in every single area, but also that we both met and exceeded expectations in terms of investment return. Having said that, we're entering a time of a little bit of negativity, but overall, our council financial staff are doing an excellent job of staying ahead of the curve as much as possible and balancing those investments to get best return for Broken Hill, while at the same time ensuring that we pay as little as possible. Well, that is get the most competitive interest rates on those borrowings as well. So thank you for the opportunity to move this report, and a big thank you to our financial staff and the great job they're doing. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Nolan. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Adams, Mayor Shirley. Against? Councillor Allgate. Thank you, everyone. It's carried. Item 7, Broken Hill City Council report number 186/21, community assistance grants awarded for round 2, page 405. Do I have a mover? Councillor Gallagher.
Move that way.
Seconder, Councillor Clark. Councillor Gallagher, do you want to speak to the motion?
Just briefly, Madam Mayor, it's good to see that we'll be able to once again give the community funds, much needed funds for their enterprise and for their what they really asked for. it's good to see that we'll be up this time. We'll be able to give everyone who asked for money the amount they wanted. It's a lot of great work for the community, and it's good to see the Broken Hill City Council assisting community and the for their events. And I commend the motion.
Madam
Thank
Chair, I have a question.
I've just realised I have a conflict of interest in one of the grant applications, and it's with Live Better. And my son works for Live Better, so I'm going to declare a conflict and hand over to the Deputy Mayor. This was not intentional to put her on the spot for her last meeting. So, step out.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Is there anyone speaking against this? Sorry.
I have a question.
Yes, Councillor LaCour.
With the recommendation, just through the chair to the general manager, is it intended that all the surplus funds will be spent on Christmas lights and decorations, regardless of the number of applicants who apply for that subsidy?
Mr. GM.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yes, so the allocation, if it's exhausted, obviously it'll be all spent. Now that the Christmas decorations have already been purchased, any surplus funds can be, or any surplus funds won't be reutilised as such. It'll be a new budget next financial year for the next round, so there won't be any carryover funds. So if it's not utilised, it'll basically just go back into council's general budget as a saving.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Clark.
Thank
Up there
you.
in heaven.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Adams. Yeah, just a comment there. This is we just had the last community assistance grants meeting for this term, and so that's my last community assistance grants meeting. I'd just like to say what a wonderful policy this is to be able to help the community. It's a way of helping small clubs and organisations who don't have a lot of money at all, and they only want a small amount of money to do what sometimes turns out to be something really big for the community. And I'd like to thank my fellow panel members and all of the different community members who have been taking part, have participated over the years. There's quite a number of them, and I wouldn't like to try and name them. So just a general thank you to them all.
Thank you, Councillor Clark, and thank you for your contribution to the committee.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote? Okay.
Yeah.
All in favour?
Oh, yes.
Councillor Brown, Councillor LaCour, it's all of us. Okay. I'm at a mental blank. It's a unanimous vote. Thank you. Would you please get the mayor back? And I'm quite happy to see the mayor come back.
Excellent news. Thank you, everyone. We'll move to item 8, Broken Hill City Council report number 187/21, the minutes of the local traffic committee meeting held on the 28th of October. Councillor Brown, you're moving that way.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Seconder.
Second, thank you, Mayor.
LaCour. Oh, so I just caught Councillor LaCour at the same time. Councillor Brown, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, not a great number of recommendations, but we are proposing a solution, or at least to try out a solution to the long-standing issue of parking in Union Street. So those signs along both sides of Union Street will be covered for the first term, and then that will be reassessed to see what the implications of that are. So that I know that that's something that's concerning the residents of that area for a while, but I believe that work will be done fairly soon, and we'll see whether that solves that problem.
Thank you, Councillor Brown. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 9, Broken Hill City Council report number 188/21, page 427, action list report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Adams. Seconder? Councillor Brown. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak to the report?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, any speakers against? No, Councillor Clark, no, you just, okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Item 12 is committee reports, for which there are none. Item 13, questions taken on notice from previous council meeting. Item 1 is questions on notice report number 8/21, page 441. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cool. Councillor Adams is chairing the meeting. Seconder?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Nolan. Councillor Cool, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor, I'll be very keenly watching out for that website information on the footpaths and roadworks. Thank you.
Thank you. Speakers against? No speakers against. All those in favour? Councillor, it's a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone. We'll move to supplementary report number 1, and this is the adoption of the draft workplace COVID-19 vaccination policy. Do I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Adams. Seconder?
I'll second that.
Councillor Cool. The speakers for Councillor Adams, you want to speak to it?
Just to say that it's very satisfying to see that pretty well all of the staff have agreed to this policy, and that we really are, the council is showing that they are very concerned and working towards the safety and well-being of our employees. So, and all those that involves, including our volunteers. So, I think it's a great policy, and I'm just very pleased to see that it's been passed by the staff and so on so easily. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move an amendment, Madam Chair.
What's your amendment, councillor?
My amendment is that this report be referred to the incoming council for them to make a decision on what they, how they see the position.
Thank you, councillor. Do you have a seconder? Is there a seconder? No seconder. Sorry, councillor, there's no seconder. So that amendment lapses. I'll go back to the debate. Councillor speaking against the motion. Councillor.
Yeah, I'll speak against, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I just only on the basis that come December 15, there is no requirement for mandatory vaccinations, and there is a wealth of evidence that says that mandating the vaccines is not lawful anyway. And it's a matter of which way you think is best. And in my opinion, I think the new incoming council, we're making so many decisions that are binding on the new council in a period of caretaker mode. It's just not funny.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, councillor. Is there any further speakers for? No further speakers.
Madam Mayor, I'll speak.
Councillor De Cool.
Madam Mayor, I think this is a vitally crucial and very important matter that would come to any council. We can't wait for staff safety issues. We've got to act on it. This vaccine saves lives. I'm a pro-vaxxer, proud to announce it, and we need to protect our staff. We need to protect the people that come in contact with our staff. And I'm very glad that if we can move this forward and protect the staff and protect the community. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Is there any speakers against? No further speakers.
I'll speak against.
You've already spoken against, councillor
Well, you
Gate.
can't help me trying.
No, I know. I really appreciate your effort tonight, councillor. So, thank you, councillor. If there's no further speakers against, I'll ask the deputy mayor to give a right of reply.
I think Councillor LaCool actually stole my thunder there, because what he said is really what I believe, that this is a policy that cannot wait for another council. I think it's important that it is passed tonight, and let's move on.
Thank you. With that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour: Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Adams, Mayor Turley. Against, Councillor Allgate. The motion's carried. Thank you, everyone. We'll move to item 2 of the supplementary agenda, Broken Hill City Council report number 191/21, the Office of Local Government Consultation Draft Guidelines for new risk management and internal audit framework for councils and joint organisations.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Nolan, seconder.
Second that way.
Second by Councillor Gallagher. Councillor Nolan, do you want to speak to the motion?
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I truly believe that Broken Hill City Council has led the way. And I thank Councillor Gallagher for seconding, because we both served for some years on our Audit and Risk Committee. And so many things that are in this draft are what we're doing already. And I'm very pleased with our submission, which mentions the good work done by our Audit and Risk Committee in improving accountability, safety, planning, and a whole range of things so important for the sustainable future of Broken Hill and protecting us from a variety of risks. So I also concur with our submission in relation to it'll be disappointing to have councillor involvement limited, or also the draft recommends. I would like to see, and I'm sure Councillor Gallagher would agree, even more councillor involvement in the Audit and Risk Committee rather than less, but let's see if our submission gets up, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Nolan. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against, then I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 3, the Broken Hill City Council report number 192/21, minutes of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 19th of August and the 20th of October 2021, page 142. Do I have a mover?
Move that way, Madam Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Gallagher, seconded.
Seconded, thank you,
I
Mayor.
think I'll take Councillor Nolan as he is on that committee, councillor. Councillor Gallagher, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor, it's before us what we've said, and I just to totally agree with the reports put before the council.
Thank you. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Move to item 14, questions for next meeting arising from items on the agenda. Are there any additional questions? No additional questions. We'll move to item 15, which is confidential matters. Can I call for a motion to go into close? Just in case. Councillors, there's going to be any debate around the minutes? I suspect we might just go into, we won't be long. I'll call for a motion to go into closed session. Councillor Cool, second by Councillor Brown. hopefully I put the motion, all those in favour. Councillor Brown, it's a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone. I will ask the media to leave us. Thank you. I'll ask the General Manager to read out the motion that was endorsed.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Item 1, Broken Hill City Council Report number 189/21, confidential minutes for confirmation of the extraordinary council meeting held 4th of November 2021 and 11th of November 2021. Counter resolved 1, that Broken Hill City Council Report number 189/21 dated November 16, 2021 be received. 2, that the confidential minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held 4th of November 2021 and 11th of November 2021 be confirmed. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, councillors. And as we close tonight's meeting for the end of term, can I particularly note Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark and Councillor Adams, who have decided not to run for election and to return. We wish them well and we will think of them dearly. We will never forget our time on council and look forward to working closely with them. For our other councillors, it's been a pleasure. It certainly has been a lot of work achieved. And for all our differences, we all have the same goal, is to deliver for our community. And I thank you one and all. But I'm going to ask you councillors to stand with me and to, in affirmation, thank our staff, our general manager, our former general manager as well, to Lisa and Louise, to our elective leadership team, and councillors, to all our staff who deliver every day for our community. Can you please stand with me while we clap and affirm our thanks to them all? Thank you. Councillors, it's been an honour as we are about to close the meeting. Councillor Adams would like to say something as she leaves us.
Look, I just, no, I won't. No, yes, I will. I'd just like to say thank you to all the tremendous staff that have supported me over the years. It's been absolute pleasure working with you all, and also to councillors. I wish all the very best to my former running partner and his team, and I wish all the very best to those in Labor that are standing again. And I'd particularly like, I'm sorry they're not here, but I'd particularly like to wish the very best to those that are standing for the first time. And we all know it gets in your blood once you're here, but I'm going to miss it dreadfully. I'll be watching from the seats over there probably, but thanks everyone, and good luck to you all.
Thank you. With that, I will close the meeting and see you all on the other side. Thank you, everyone.